Good afternoon. Hello. How we all doing? We got more puzzles lined up. So I suppose we'll not hang around too long. Oh. Hello, Kita. Hello, Asha. Thank you. You had a good nap at least, Kita. Right. New rules time. Hello, Ken. Difference indicates the difference between the areas of the region. Yeah, good. you could nap to the sultry tones of my voice. Right, so yes, difference. So this is a 1 difference, and we have a 1 here, so there needs to be a 2 up above. This one is a 3, and a 1 difference with above it. So this has to be either a 2 or a 4. Right? And it needs to be, this needs to be a 2. So that is a 2. E. A little bit funky to get your head around. I think it's the having movement either way is going to probably throw me if I have to guess. Okay, so this is a 4. This is a 3. And whatever is between has to be 2 different from 3, but 1 different from 4. So does that make it a 5? Yeah, that will have to be 5, right? You can't go lower. So let's fill out that 4 there. Fill out the 3, and then the 5 will fit in the gap. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to struggle with this rule set for a little bit. Okay, so we've got a 0 there. A 1 different on a 1. Well, these have to all be separate regions, right? This is 1 different. So that's going to be a 2. This is now on a 0. So this will be a 2. These will have to be different. Because this is 2 different, so that makes this a 4. And this will be a 2. This is a 3, so it's not going to connect up here. And this will have to be a 4 as well. And then we have a single thing in the corner. E. Oh, I see you hiding down there. 1. This below it is going to be a 3, and it's not going to wrap around the corners because then it will hit that. So we've got 3 going along the bottom, 2 up the sides, and then a 1 at the top. This is 2 different, so that's a 3. This is 2 different, so that's a 4. So they're not the same region. That'll be a 3 there, and we're up with a 4 around here. this is either a 2 or a 4. It can't wrap around the corner because then it's got 2 differences on it, so it is a 2. This is either a 1 or a 5. And that is not going to have any... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it doesn't touch this with 5, so we can't say one way or the other with that. So what about this? This is either a 1 or a 3, and if it goes down to become a 3, then it hits that, so that's just a 1. This is 2 different, so this is a 4. And then we've got a 2 there. No. Wait, no, a 1 there and a 1. Like so. Okay. That was a 1. No, it didn't feel like a 1 difficulty. So 5. Can't wrap round on itself. So this has to be at least 4. Could be a 6 though. 4 can't wrap round on itself. So it will have to be 4. So that's a 1. This can't connect there. So this is a 2 or a 4 now. A 2 or a 6 even, sorry. Can't wrap round on itself, so that gives us the 5 region there. We've got a 1 difference. Oh, no, that doesn't actually tell us anything. That still tells us if it's a... No, wait, does it? 2... Yeah. Because if 5 was 1 different down, it would be a 4. And then that would not work on this, so it has to be a 6 region. If it went down onto this, that would be a 4, so it can't go here. Extend these regions out. This is going to have to be a 4. So that's 4 there now. 5. And then what happens with this? So it's either 7, but that's not going to fit in there. So it has to be 3. And then we have a, whoops, a 1 in the corner. Smooth jazz Zelda. Ooh. Okay. Yes, Wayne. Where to start with this then? Might need notes. So across here, this can either be a 2 or a 6. Which then means this would be the same anyway. Which means we can't have it connecting to this 3. So that's something at least. 2 or 6. Then across this 3, if it's a 6, that will have to be 3, which breaks on this. So either that, or I suppose it could be 9, but that's definitely not 2 different from 3. So this will have to be a 2, right? And then a 2 across the 3 makes up for the difference. of these two differences, I guess. So 2 go up to 5, and then back down 2 to 3. So that would also be a 5 here, so we can put another wall in there. And I suppose that's all we've got to do, and now we just need to fill things out. So that's a 2 there. Well, we've got to fit quite a lot of big numbers in. So we can sort of grow these to their maximums and then figure out what we've got. So 3, 4, 5 at most. Means this 5 can grow. Can't connect to that. 3, 4, 5 at most. That 3 fills out there then. That 2 goes there. And then everything else sort of backfills to fill out the rest. Let's get rid of those notes. No. Okay. 4. Which is going to have to extend at least to there. It could go up or it could go to the right. I'm wondering if there's something weird about this 111 here that means it can't go to the right. So let's have a quick think, right? Well, we'll ignore this for the moment. Just get rid of that. So between these two, one goes up, one goes down because of this 2. So, you know, that could be a 3 and that could be a 5, and then now there's a 2 difference between them. So using that logic, we can say that it can't go to the right, because then over this one there would then need to be a difference of 2 or 0 between these. So there's a wall there, that's a 1 and that's a 2, and the 4 comes up here. There, what's going on there? Oh, I'm glad I got a new mouse. My old one really was playing up. I was just doing like sort of double clicks, and it felt like it was particularly noticeable in this game. But it's nice not having it like randomly decide to stop clicking. Anyway, I digress. So we've got a 3 and a 5 each on here. We don't know which one's which, but they both need to extend to at least. But we do have the 1 here, so that means this one needs to be 3. And that's 5, there we go. Before we get onto the next one, I'm going to have a look up at the music lineup and see what there is to vote on. Ooh. Well, there's a Guild Wars song coming up. Jazz tribute to Chrono Trigger. That sounds good. Or there's something from Signalis. I feel like Okita's going to like that. We got a 7-minute jazz song now. Don't forget, you can also vote on the music if you check the link in the description. I really like this site for that. It's such a cool little thing. Right, next puzzle. Well, this is curious. This 4. To have a 4 difference when you've got these wiggles, that is really hard to fit in. And I think that is going to be the only way you can fit it in, because then you've got 5 there, and you can have a 1. Otherwise, you've got 4, and 4 difference is going to be 0, which isn't possible. So, yeah, it's got to be 5 and 1. Which then means whatever this is, 3 different to 5, we're definitely not going to be going above 5. So it goes down to 2. Now we've got a 2 difference to 2, so this is going to be a 4. It can't go any further than that way, so it goes down. Now we've got a 1 difference, which isn't going to be 5, so it's going to be 3. And then you got a 0 difference, so you got another 3. And then you got a 2 to finish it off. Nice. Okay, and now we have options. I'm going to do these 2 on the little island here. Right, difference in shape bank. Well, this is either going to be a 1 or a 2, which means this is going to be a 1 or a 2. We've got a 3 difference here, so that has to be a 1. And then this will be a 4. Okay, that is our starting point at least. And now this 2 difference can't be a 2 and a 4, so it's going to have to be a 1 and a 3. This 2 difference could be a 2 and a 4, and then you have 1 and 1. Is there a reason that doesn't work? Otherwise, it would be, yeah, 1 and 3, and then it would hit that 0. That's why it wouldn't work. Okay. A 2, 4, 1, 1, 1. Ooh, it is getting toasty. Not even, I mean, it's still warm today, but it's not even that warm. Not looking forward to later in the week. Thursday is going to go up to 34. Another mini heat wave. Don't like it. Summer should be over already. I know it should, but feels like it should. Okay. Shape bank again. What are we working with? So. Well, anything that's on a 2 has to be the little I or the T. And this cannot fit a T in, so that is an I. And then we're going to have a T here. I think I need a 3rd colour to go on here. Because I want to be able to define the different shapes. I'm not sure. Anyway, we can't have a wall here. This blue is going to have to extend up into this too. which then actually does give us the shape of that region. And then this is a 2 that will have to go down. This will be another 2, make that orange. Have to go up. And then now we're on a 1 difference, so this will be a 3. So let's give this a new color. Good to green, we do purple. What works with these colors? Let's go with purple, why not? Okay, so again, we can't leave a little 1, so that gives us that shape. We then have another 3 here, which will give us that shape. And now I've got a 1 again. And this will have to be a 2, because we cannot fit a T in. Let's make that orange, and it will have to go up to fill that gap. It's on a 0, so that has to be a 2. Okay. We've got a 2 at the bottom here, because nothing else will be able to fit in there, which means we have a T4 on here, which only has one way it can go. And then that's a 3 above it, which is already decided which way it goes due to that little gap that it would leave otherwise. So across this 1, I've got 2 different regions like that. That means this orange region cannot extend anywhere. Ah, the Guild Wars song didn't make the vote. Hopefully the Outer Wilds one does, which is up next. Best game. Yeah, this orange can't extend anywhere, so that is set. It's on a 1 and a 2. So this is going to be a 3, so we can turn that purple, and this will be a 4. We can turn that blue. Yeah, and then we have these 2 little slots, which are 2s. Orange gotta say small. Orange isn't small. You're a big bully. You're not going to understand that reference at all, Peter. I'm sorry. Go play Deltarune. Do it. Look at this. It's so precarious on the wall. No. No. What do you mean no? It's a great game. Well, you should go and watch someone else play it. 7. That is a big number. And we have these 8 regions. So we're going to have a 1 and an 8 across one of these. So at least one of these is all filled in. So let's try and think about what impact that has on these, right? So let's say this was 8. 5 different, well, 4 different. Let's go with the easy one first, right? It's going to be 4. And then 5 different will be 3. So that does work. Yes, Outer Wilds, here it comes. But what about this was the... eight. Then you would have the same but in reverse. Yeah, so this would be a 4. But then this would be a 5, and that cannot fit in. So, this is our 8. This is a 1. Bum, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-da. So this will be 3. For 1. And then we've got this 4. Hang on. No. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. Right. No. It's that. There we go. Another great game. So, sorry, I am getting very distracted by the music today. Hang on. 4 different from 1 is going to be 5. 3 different from 5. Be 2. No, this still doesn't work. Hang on. So, what about actually if it did it that way? No, because then you've got a 4 different on a 4 again, which means this whole thing would be 8, and that's not going to work. Well, hang on, no. I'm being dumb. Right, 3 different from 4 is 1. 4 different from 1 is 5. Then we have a 1. Ugh. Did not see it. Okay. Oh, there's a 4 floating out here that I don't want to do just yet. Let's do this. Just the difference rule on this one. Okay. Oh, I need to open the window a bit. It is, yeah, about the same inside and... Ugh, hate it when it's like that. Can't get a nice breeze. Just stale air. So we've got 2 1s. 4 different, so this will be a 5. Let's get my notes out. This will be a 5. And this is going to be a 4. This will be a 2. This will be a 3. This will be a 3. This will be a 6. So we just need to figure out how all of this is going to piece together. 24. Can we do a little bit of maths and figure that out? Well, so 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2. 23. So there's going to be a stray 1 somewhere. That's unfortunate. Makes things a little harder. Well, this 6 is very penned in from this 3. So it's probably the best place to start. If it does go that way, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots to play with. doesn't go that way. Could go up here, but then it blocks the 5 in. So actually, no, the 6 is set there. The 5 then is set there. Let me change the colouring on this. Let's make both of them red, I guess. And everything else can be this teal. And that gives us the 2 there. 3, 4, and 3. This 3 will go like that, because then that leaves you the 1 that you need. And 4 fits in there, and 3 fits in there. Okay. 4, 5. Oop. 2s and 3s up here. More 2s and 3s. 5. Do this little one in the tower. Why not? Okay, so Mafet hits hiding Delta rule, but we've got Gemini and Delta. So we can start with these ones. And I suppose the Geminis, because they're going to both be 1s as well. I think this is a 1 here and another 1 there. This is a 1, but then this will have to be 3. Which can't go down, because then it's on a 1, which means that will have to be 2. So it goes across, and then we've got a 2 there. Okay, so that's the top half done. Which feels like it was probably the easy bit. So what about the bottom? These have to be different, so there are at least 2. This 3 different currently means it would be 5 if it stays as a 2. Which does work around there, but then it doesn't work across this one. So it can't be a 5. Which means this orange needs to extend more. Can't double back on itself. So that would make this 6, which definitely doesn't work. So it will be 4 and a 1. Because otherwise it's 5 and 2, and then it connects on a 3 and a 2, and that does not work. So what about here? So if this is 2 on a 4, that has to be a 2. And then you've got a 1, so that's a 3. Cool. Oh, excuse me. Yawning. Just delta and difference. These channels are sort of like limited. Actually, maybe this one. This is curious. So they've got to be different across the delta. But then they both need to be 2 different. So that basically means no, so that puts brain is wearing away trying to understand this. So let's start simple. Let's start with what we've got. If these are both, well, they're not both 1, but let's say either one of them is 1. Then across the 2, you're going to have a 3. One and 3. Which does, like, fit. But then that means the other one has to be at least 2. And then across the 2, you've got a 4. But then that doesn't match up on this 0. It's this 0 that's making things weird. Or not weird, but interesting. It basically means both of these need to be the same, which have a 2 different from each other. So if there were 1, yeah, so you need to have a 2 going up and a 2 going 2 up and 2 down. So that would make it you could have 1 going up to 3 and then 5 going down to 3. I think that might be the only option you've got. But that doesn't fit in anywhere, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you've got a 3 here. So it can't be. So what about 2? No, 2's not going to work. But you could have 4 going down to 2. Oh, delta means they have to be different shapes, not just different sizes. They could be different sizes, but they don't have to be different sizes. So if they were both 4s with 2s connecting to them, there we go. That makes more sense. Then you have a 4, a 2. This 4 can't do that, so you get rid of that little nub at the end, give it a different shape, and then it would be a 2 there. Ugh. Grumble. Okay, there we go. Hey, that's 1 half. Figure out if the logic can carry over. So, do we have the same kind of thinking of... Well, both of these need to be the same. And 2 different. So could it be, well, yeah, could it be a 4 and a 4 to start with? Let's just go with that. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, but then you've got 1, 2, 3. It can't bend that on itself, so no, it can't be a 4 and a 4. Could it be a 3 and a 5? No, it wouldn't be 3 and 5, it would be 1 and 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you'd have 3 and 3. Yeah, there we go. So 1, 5, 3, 3. And you have a single one there. There we go. Yeah, getting my head a bit twisted from that one. Boxy, or regions must be rectangular. Well, like we had with the 7 earlier, we have a 5, so one of these has to be a 6 with a 1 connecting it. So how does that impact these other bits though? So 4 different would be a 2. 3 different would be a 3. So that all works. That makes sense. Is there any problem with the reverse? We have 2 here. 2 different would be a 4. That, yeah, okay. So it doesn't work across this 2, because then you can't make it boxy without colliding into that. So we have a 6 up here, we've got a 1 over there. We've got a 2 here, and a 3 there. This will be... Well, I suppose it could be a 4. I was thinking it could be it has to be a 2 and a 2 on these ones. But it kind of works as a 4 and a 2. So I think we need to look at the other side first. This is a 2. A 2 across... 2 is going to be a 4. Okay. So, yes, it is 4 and 2, just the other way around. And this is a 2, and then we got a 1, so that's a 3. Yeah. Whoop. Making a difference. Restore the difference window. But we're not done yet. Now this one is a non-boxy room. So these are both the same. Or both the same size. Not necessarily both the same shape. But they can't be 1 because that's boxy. They can't be 2 because that's boxy. This can't go to the right because then it's a 0 and a 1 over the same. So it has to go up to 3. But that's still boxy, so it still needs to go somewhere. This can't go up for the same reason. It would be a 1 and a 2 on the same shape, so that has to go to the right. But again, has to go somewhere else. 2 new regions at least. 1 difference on a 3, so that is at least a 2. Again, this isn't going to make the corner because it'll be a 2 and a 4 on the same regions. This needs to extend further. Okay, I was just looking at this green region and thinking, does this green region have to extend? Is it if it stays as a 1, cross this 2 means you've got a 3, and cross this 1 means you have a 4. Which can't work, because this is already 4 and it's still boxy. So yes, the green does need to extend. Oh, of course the green needs to extend because of the number. Oh my god. Silly sausage. Yeah, okay. So we can extend the purple as well by that logic. Just like I'm looking for all these reasons and it's just like, no, it can't be a box. It's so much simpler. That finally gives us a little kink in this shape. So we've got at least 6. This has to be at least 4. This is also now potentially done. That can kink, that can kink. Right, so I think now we've not got boxy regions, we can start actually looking at the clues proper. Okay, so at least 6, which means this could be 7 or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is plenty of space, but let's ignore that for the moment. Yeah, so it needs to be... Actually, that does just solve itself. So if we've got a 6, one difference is 7 or 5. But that means we've only got 4 at the moment. It needs to extend at least 1 to make 5. Which then traps in the yellow, which then makes this 6, which then makes this 5. Roundabout way, but it gets there. So this is 5 on a 2. Which means this is either 7 or 3. It's definitely not 3, so it is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then there's a bit of space. So it's 7 across 4. We're not going to be going up because there's definitely not enough space there. So we're going down to 3, which means that is set. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah. So that is set. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, right, yes. I was like, how does this actually resolve then? Because there's so much space. But no, we need one more region that's not going to be boxy. So we've got to figure out how we can do that, right? And that's like that. There we go. Clear notes. Finish up. Yeah. Where to next? That's a 5. Could take a stab at a 4. We've still got a few easier ones, so let's do this 2. Mingle shape, difference obviously, and range. All regions have an area between 2 and 3, but neighboring regions must be different. So straight away across this 0, we can say these are both 3. Because if it's anything, well, anything else, 2, they match regions. So one of these has to be a 3 long, which only that one can be because of that there. And the other one has to have a little kink. And it can't leave a 1. So we'll have to do that. There we go, we have a good start. This could be a 2 or a 3. This has to be a 2 because it was a 3, it matches. This will have to be a 3 above it to not match over to the 2. This has to be a 2. Because otherwise it's a 3 and kinks. So there we go. No, not too bad. Polyominoes. Well, we've got a square in the corner straight off the bat. We've got an L, which can't go down because it will hit an incorrect polyomino, so it goes to the right. And we've got a 1. This gives us something a bit more to work with. This will have to be a 3. This will be a 2 or a 6. Let's just make a note of that. 2 or 6. curious about this 0. Because I think it's either a 1 or a 4. Yeah. So it's either 4 because... Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. 4 because it does this. Or it's 1 because it does... yeah, because it does that. Which kind of means this has these two set and a wall there. And then it will touch one side or the other of this one, which means the other side is a 3 or a 5. This S is interesting because it touches the 2 and the 3 no matter which way it goes. But again, it will always take those two and have a wall. So make a note of that being either a 1 or a 4, just so I don't forget. I keep looking at this S in the corner. Ah. It cannot do that. Yeah, Guild Wars music. Because then it's the same shape across a 3. That defies logic. Oh, excuse me. So it has to go up and do that. Right? No, because then that breaks this being 1 different. No. I can do that. All that. Okay. But it still follows some of that same logic, I think. Because, yeah, it can't go up. Because then... Yeah, it hits that 1, which we've already shown doesn't work. So it has to go to the left. It's this 3, which means this cannot go to the right. It has to go up. That is finished. That's a 1, which is 3 different from 4, so that's good. This is a 2. So this is a 2 or a 6. It's not going to be a 6 because then this corner polyomino does not work. It's a 2 and we get a T in there. 1 different here. So this is a 3 or a 5, so it has to grow. It's not going to touch this polyomino, this L. So that only has 1 way to go. Cross a 3. Not going to have the red coming over to it. So this is a 1 or a 5. No. Wait, what? Why did it say 1 or a 5? I have no idea. It's a 1 or 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is not going to fit in because then it reps. Oh, wait, could it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 7? I don't think it can be. Oh, this one actually now is useful. Because if this T hits it on this side, it has to be a 3 or a 5, and it can only fit 2. So, that T is completed there. That means this is a 4 now. Zoop. Can't connect to that 3, that can keep going out. This has to be a new region. These are 2, actually a 2, that's a 1, this is a 3. There are a lot of pieces working together here. This is a 4, this is a 3 or a 5, we said. Has to be at least 3, is only 3, 3, 4, and a 1. Eh. Got that there. Okay, should we do this 3 and then we'll take a quick break, I think? Oh, so this got range, 2 to 4 range, and size separation. Neighboring regions must have different area. Well, this is going to have to be like a staggering 2-4. Hell, actually, even this side could all be 4. I'm trying to figure out something about this top right here. It can't be its own 4, but it could connect with one of the other regions to be a 4. And then you'd have a 2 and another 4. Ah. Well, that doesn't work, because then this 2 has to come out, and then that would be a 2, and then they'd be touching. So, what about the other way? 4, 2, this would be 4. That all works. Oh, yeah, and then you have a 4 and 2. Okay. Oh, we do have a couple more easy ones. Ooh, what's hiding here? There it is, 3 underneath. 2, 2. Yeah, I'll do this 3? No, maybe. No. We'll come back and do that 3. But let's have a quick break first. Oh, have a stretch. Get your drinks, whatever you want to do. Be back in about 5 minutes. Oh, Asher, I improved my away screen. Hang on, where is it? Oh my god, where's it gone? There it is. If I just swap to it,
you'll see. All right, back in a bit. Oh, look at that. Bang on time. I walked in the door, saw it was getting close to 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it. Genuinely surprised. Anyway. I am gonna put my aircon on. It's too warm. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's go back to this 3 then, shall we? Single shape neighboring regions must have different shapes. And we have a load of zeros here. Oh, 16 to 12. Me. So well, we're working to at least 3. Well, if we've got 3 shapes in a row, then it will need to be at least 4 to be able to get enough options. And it has to be 4. Back on. Because there is no more space. Hang on. Wait, how does this work? Oh no. Because they're the same then. Oh, no, it can be 3, because if it's 3, the middle one just has to be the different. The 2 outside ones can be the same. There we go. Okay. Silly me. This, which is a 3. But this has to be straight. Because otherwise it will match what it's bordering. So that is a 3. These both need to be at least 3 as well. About here. Can't be 1. Can't be 2. Can't be 3. Gonna have to be 4. Better. So this will be 4. 1, 2, 3 at least. Could do an S, could do a T. Can't go to the right because that would be the same. Could have a 3 and a 3 there. Actually, no. So because of this difference, or not difference as the case is, there is a yeah, I think we need to have it as a 4. That'll be a 4. And this is 4 above. Which can't be a... has to be a straight line, I think. Can't be an L. If it was a T, then it is next to a T. So yeah, it's just a straight line. There we go. Excuse me. Just in my chair. Range 3 to 5. So this is at least 3. Well, across the 2s, it has to be 1, 3, and 1, 5. Fact. Do they have to connect? No. 5 could do that. Oh, 3, yeah, and then a 4. Range 3 to 4, otherwise known as 3 or 4. And there's a load of 1s. Well, I think we're going to have walls here and here. If they were the same shape, yeah. So let's say that was a 4. Then you'd have 3s. And then it breaks. So there is a wall there. Yeah, 2 separate regions. Say the same here. They have 2 separate regions. We need to extend them to at least 3. They can't wrap around on themselves, so then we get new regions, which again have to extend to at least 3. Let's change the coloring on these so they are more discernible. That locks this off as a 3, which means this is a 4, this is a 3, this is a 4. This has to be a 3. And this will be a 4. These two, this purple and blue, have to be the same region. Because we have 2 4s that we need to squeeze into this area. And you have 3 along the top and a 3 there. Finally, maybe finally, for the range 2 to 5. So all of these dead ends, I suppose, we need to connect them up. Because they can't be 1, and if they're 2, then they leave the 1, so they have to be 3, minimum. This one has to be more because of this 3. That's at least a 4, can be a 5. Can't go up to turn back on itself, can't go down to turn back on itself. So we have a new region here, we can start working. It has to be, it's on a 1, so it has to be at least 3 at this point. Can't go back on itself, so this will be a new region. On the right here, let's say that stays as a 3. Working across a 2, which would have to take that to 5. Then working across a 3, which would take that to 2. Fortunately, doesn't not work. What about if it was 4? What about if it's 5? That would make this 3. I could extend there to be 5. This would be 3. Should extend up there. And then this would be 5. Which then can no longer go anywhere. It's not going to go this way because this is now trapped as a 3 there. So this is at least 3 or 4. Won't be 5. That's maybe helpful. That's 3 or 4, then this is either 2 or 5. Which means this is either 2 or 5. Right? Do a quick thought of if this is 4. 4 means that's 2. If this is 5. Could connect there now, because that could be 4, 5. Don't know. What about this? Well, if this is 5, this could be a 2. This is a 3 or a 4. 4, 3, 2. Five, 4. Could this be then 3? No, it would have to be 5 or 2. 2 would make this 5. This 3. But then... Oh, yeah, no, this can't be 2. So this has to be 5, yeah. Which makes this 2. Which would make that 4. That 4. And that 2. I did it? Like, I had some thinking going on, but I don't know how much. Minimum of 5 each. Well, all regions have an area. So start with the bottom corner at least. That's 3. This will be a new region. 3. Gives us 4. Can't go down, so it goes 5 across. This is a new region here. 3. Oh. So we are working on 2 differences here. So let's say... Well, the minimum one of them could be is 5, which means another one has to be, at least one, has to be at least 7. Like, it could be something like 5, 7, 9. Or it could be 5 flanked by 2 7s. Or it could even just be 2 5s flanking a 7. There are options, but we can at least say there is a 5. No, actually. Because you could have a 6 and 8. Ah, damn it. I thought I was being smart. Okay. Good. Region here. Which I suppose could be this blue region. There's no reason it couldn't wrap around, I guess. Maybe I can look at this blue again, because this needs to at least be extending more. That will be a new region. I don't think this blue can extend to the right, right? Right. So let's say it does. Whatever this is. So we can say this is X. And then this is X. Plus or minus 2. Oh my god. Am I really doing algebra? I'm doing algebra. Oh. Yeah, so we've got X plus or minus 2. And then this one across this 2 also needs to be X plus or minus 2. Which then means if this blue goes to the right, they are connecting over this 2. But they are at least the same or 4 different. So this blue cannot go to the right. Goes up. This is a new region, also goes up. This is now at least 5. This green region has to extend to at least 5. We are getting somewhere. Okay, this blue region in the middle can go up. Can't wrap around that, so this is a new region. No, not entirely true, because again, it could still wrap around. Let's leave that empty. Right, can we start actually looking at the differences yet? So, well, one of these two, this green or this blue, has to be 5 now. Because of this little choke point here. Because whichever one isn't 5, or whichever one is greater than the other, has to squeeze out here, which then locks the other one off. So, does that give us anything? Not sure. So, I mean, it does mean that we are working on odds at least. We're not going to get surprise 6. So this could be 5. This would be 7. This would be 7. This could still be 9 or 5. 7 would connect over here. Maybe that's where to look at. So whichever one of these extends out, it's going to be a 7 touching this 2, which makes this a 9 or a 5. So this is 7. This is 9 or 5. Which means this is 7 or... Like, is there any possibility of it going above 9 to 11? Maybe? Eleven, 9, 7. 9, 11. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, I don't think so, actually. So let's say that was 11. You're running out of room at that point. 11, this would have to be 9. Which means this would have to be 7. And then, like, you don't have enough room for the 11 to get out. So, no. That is not 11. This has to be 7. It's unlikely to be 9, but not impossible. This 7 could still wrap around here to this 5. To this being a 7, sorry. 7. Could this go up to 9? That goes to 7. 5, 6, 7. No. Again, you're blocking things in. So this is 5. There we go. This is 5. Blue is 7. Blue extends into here. There we go. We got there eventually. That is done. This is 7. I'm not ruling that out still. Seeming even more likely, in fact. This is going to have to be a 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, based on what can actually fit in. 6, 7 has to get down to at least here. This can't go down because then it blocks that off, so that has to go up. That is now a 5. Get that. This 7 has to go down, so this can stay in, and then that gives us 7 there to finish off. Yay! And it did do the little rip around. I called it. Oh, gee. There is our silver window. Oh god, this is looking like a big area as well. 43 to guild. 43 to guild. Don't know about this one yet, but that's probably going to be the same. Ugh. Getting long areas. Okay. I've got a few 2s, got 6 there. Ugh. Let's do these 2s. Even more 2s, and it spells out twoo. Ooh. Sorry. Right, how many... That actually kind of annoys me. 2s and there's a 1. Alright, we've got 39 anyway. Which means when all of these 22s do have to be linked up to each other. So that helps. So let's call them all in blue. Purple. And light blue for the 1, I guess. So, I mean, 2 different means this is going to be a 3. And then 2 difference again, it's going to be a 1. Then it'll be a 3 again. So we can call that 1 at least. This 3 has options. 22 though is penned in like. This is 3, so let's extend this. Oops. Which gives us something more to do with them too, but not much. This can't be 5 because it gets stuck, so it's going to have to be another 1, right? There's nothing. Oh, I was going to say there's nothing saying which way these can go, but this 22 has to get over the top end, so we do have the 3 there. That 2 gets penned in now. Which means this 3 gets penned in. That 2 gets penned in. This blue needs to keep wrapping around. I preferred that darker blue, please. Right, what are we looking at? This is going to be a 3 again. That penned that 2 in. Good. And then we're going to finish off with 22. And now the 2 that was written out is merely a memory of our time together. Why I'm trying to be poetic. Number and difference. I'm going to start with this 2. Because there's this 5 next to it, or near it, and then the 1. So this has to be a 1 or a 3. And it's looking like it's going to be a 1 because this 5 is very limited about where it can actually go. I mean, I suppose it could still be that. But it takes up these 4, and then one of these 2. Oh, it can't go down, because then it's on a 2, which is next to a 4. So it has to go here. This is a 1. This 2 could go to the left. This 2 has to go to the left. I'm Zario Kita. This is a... I don't think it's necessarily that it's a complex rule set, but it's... more maths. A lot more maths than we've had to deal with before. And yeah, maths make my brain hurt too. I do not blame you with that. Anyway, that's 2. This 4. You already know that's 4. 5 with 2, so this is going to be a 3 or possibly a 6, but no, that would be the 6, and then you lock that 4 off. So this has to be a 3. This 4 forces it to go down. We've got a 1 here, which means we've got a 2 here. Can't connect to the 5. This 4 can worm its way out here. This 5 needs to worm its way out this way. And this is a 3 next to the 5. 4 with a 2, so that's 2, and then a 4 to finish up. Oops, 3. Getting through all of the so-called easy. Range 2 to 4. Mismatch. All regions must have different shapes. All regions. Okay. So that means we can't have a 1 on one of these zeros. We also can't have a 2. What if it was a 3? No. Because it would have to touch both zeros, because otherwise you left a 1 on the 0. So it would be touching both zeros, which means you have 2 3s, which only one could be a unique shape. So this is just straight up 4. That's what I figured, but always worth checking out. So that means this is a 4. This is also a 4. That means this is a 3, which fits in nicely there. This is a 3 or a 5, but it squeezes this 4 out either way. Oh, it's a range 2 to 4. It can't be a 5, so it is a 3. So yeah, that would be a lot easier if I just remembered the rules I read literally 5 seconds before. Hey. So this could be a T or an S, or it could just be straight across. What is this going to be? 3s are all taken up now. We can't have any more 3s. It can't be a 4 in that case either, because then it's either locking off a 1 or it's matching another shape. So this is our 2. And now we've got a 4 there. That tells us no, it doesn't tell us the shape of that 4. It does, but not directly. So this can't be a T, because then you've got an S, which is the same. So that is long, and then you have a T at the middle. There we go. Yeah. Not having that sex. Not yet. Let's do some of these 4s then, shall we? As we have to do. Oh, there's a Heidi 2 down there. Missed the 2. Oh, hello, Palisade. It's a video title now. I am actually parting the Palisade. Well, this is going to have to be at least 3. But it hits this, which now means it's bigger. And I'm not too sure how much bigger. There. Well, it has to hit at least one of these for the 2. hit both. So we're up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's a minimum of 7, which means this needs to be a minimum of 6. Yeah, that's just an easy way to think of it, actually. This is a minimum of 3, which means this has to be a minimum of 2. Okay. Connected to this. Now we are more than 3. It means this has to be more than 2. So that's at least 3. We now have our corner. One, two, three. I don't think it can go up. If it went up, it locks this off as being 4, which means this has to be 5, which it now can no longer do. So it doesn't go up. We have a wall there, which then gives you that. Which now means we're working with at least 4 up here. Or, well, no, more than that, at least 5. At least 6? I mean, what does that give us? 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it is going to have to be 6 and 7. It's just about... Yeah, there we go, squeezing in these last 2 little bits. Oh, hang on. Appreciate it a little bit. Oh, there's one at the little top of the tower here as well. Missed that one. Oh, no. Too much. It's too much. Right. Area numbers, that's all that's hiding behind my head. Palisade and difference, as we know. Lots of 3s. Lots of 3s. I don't like groupings of 3s with these. Oof. Well, this 3 is calling out to me because of this dead end. So this has to be at least, it has to be a 1 or a 2. It can't be anything other than it. Because if it's 1, that's fine. If it's 2, it hits this dead end. So that makes this up here either a 4 or a 5. Which means now this 3 is trapped. Forced out that way. So that is 3 that way. We have a start. That is good. We know this can't be a 3. So this is going to have to go up? Ah, yes. Okay, I see now. Goes up. That's a dead end. Connect to that 3. It goes down. That makes it 4. Connected to a 1. Okay. This has to be a 6. It can only go right 1, so it has to go up 5, I guess? 4, 5, 6. Scary. But then across this, we're looking at 3 or 9. And because of these two dead ends, it's going to have to be 3. Not go any further anywhere else. That means this has to extend out 1 more at least. Could go up to collect that. Could go up. No, it can't go up here. Because then that's a 1 by itself and it breaks the palisade. So it either goes up here or to the right. They like to make them look worse than they actually are, I think. I think they have a good way of designing things that mean they always look worse. Just about taking our time, step by step. This 3 at the top is our next step, I think. So if this red went up here, that would be a 1. This would have to be a 4. Which would go down. That works. What if it doesn't? Then you've got a 2, which means this has to be a 5, and then it's trapped. Cool, okay. That's our 6th region. This has to be a 1, this has to be a 4. Goes down. And show our next steps. This 3 can't go down because of this 3. So that has to go to the right and down there. That 3's done. This could be a 1 because it's connected to a 4. Oh, no, it has to be a 1. So it can't go down. So then it would be a 2. This 4 can go to the right or down. If this 3 goes down, that means this is a 6 across, and there is no way to fit a 6 in there. So this 3 does not go down. That's a 1. This is going to be a 4. Yes. And there is only one position that 4 can fit in there. That gives us space where the 3 goes. That completes that 4. Get a little 1 here. This 3, no matter where it goes, is touching this 3. Which means the other side of it has to be a 6. That means it can't go right and up, because then it gets blocked in. So it has to go up. Possibly up again, but let's take things slow. We need to now get a 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's the only place it can fit in. Yeah. So if it takes this, then that forces the 3 there and you can't fit the last bit. So that's our 6, that's our 3, and then we have a little 1. See, Ken? Not too bad, is it? Right. It looks worse. Okay, do we have any more sneaky easy ones hiding around anywhere? I don't think so. got these tougher ones. So I guess let's try these 4s then, see how bad they may or may not be. I feel like 4s are generally the actual trickiest, because I feel like anything higher tends to just have something clever. But maybe 5 actually is the worst, the hardest. 6 and 7s tend to have clever things to trick you. Anyway, right. So yeah, look at this. 9, 8, and 7. These are huge differences. We are working with only 20 times. So let's say we have a 1. That would make this 10. Which I'm just gonna like throw some stuff in to make it 10. Hopefully not like accidentally solve stuff. And then you're working with 8. So because of okay, yeah, I think this is actually sort of on the right track. It could be 11. Could it be 11 somehow? I don't think so. If you're working with 11, then you'd have to have 2 as a minimum. You'd have 3. 7s would be 4s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which would be up to 18. We're only working with 20. So, yeah, I think we have a big area in the middle as a little blob, which is 10 in size. And it will hit all of these. And there'll be another number on the side somewhere. I think. My only sticking point is this bit, which I have just figured out. You have the red going in there. You can have the bits that you need poking out. So 10 comes in here, you have a 1 here, you have 2 here. You've got 1 and 2 there. You have, oh no wait, 7 would have to be a 3, so go like that. This would be a 2, this is going to be a 3. And then we finish up with the 10 there. Easy once you figure it out. It's easy once you know the solution. Good. But no, like, genuinely. They do tend to just have a little trick. Once you clock onto what that trick is, smooth sailing. Right, but rose windows with this one. This is going to be curious. Curious and curiouser. So, next bit. Yeah, green. There we go. Okay, so a 1 and a 0. Actually, I think my first thought is there any way that the order on this right-hand side is not the same. So, like, purple has to go to the bottom one, right? If it doesn't, you are going to cut off access. So that has to be purple. You can say the same for red. If red tries to go anywhere else, it'll cut off access. So that gives us a little bit of a something. And then two of the regions are going to be the same size, and then one of them will be one different. Guess. And I suppose it's going to be the red region that touches. Which I think means red has to do a little wiggle. Like so. Then you've got green and purple. But then, gotta do something. Yeah, so now red just needs to take up one slot of purple. Just to make that balance out. We've got 9, 9, and 10. See, again, like, I understand by what I say. The harder difficulties aren't necessarily as hard. Watch me eat my words if I click this 5, though. Go on then, so let's do it. Right, rose windows. We have 3 regions to work with. 1, 5, and 6. How is that gonna work? If there is just trying to think, like, could one of these regions, let's say, go all down one side? But no, it can't. Because then you have only 2 regions to go up with, like, the differences there. So maybe a better way to look at it is yeah, I don't know how to explain what I've just seen, but basically, because we've got like this comparison of 3 regions and 3 differences. Basically, each one of these regions will take up like 2 of these. So you'd have one which takes up like those 2. One that takes up those 2. Just an example. And then one that takes up those 2. And then you're doing like a sort of this versus this versus this, and then it sort of rotates through. So yeah, you've got an X versus Y, a Y versus a Z, and a Z versus an X. So you are doing all of the comparisons to each other. So you've just got to figure out how they compare to each other based on the numbers that we've got. But I think we can probably do that. So start with
X and Y. We're doing bloody algebra again. Why is this game tricking me into doing so X and Y are different by 1. So we have X, or rather Y equals X plus or minus 1. Then we're going to have what do I look at next? It's like Z. Well, Z has to be on both of these, right? We don't know which one is X and which one is Y. So we can use maybe something placeholder. So we have something that equals Z plus or minus 5. Something else that equals Z plus or minus 6. So maybe I could like plug a number into this to try and figure out what we're working with. So if I feel like this 1 is making up for the difference between the 5 and the 6, right? So if there was, say, I don't know, let's say we had a 10. Z equals 10 or something, I don't know. Then one of them would be 16. The other would be 15. And then you'd have that 1 as the difference between the two. And it could work the other way around, where it's 20 and you minus, so you got 15 and 14. Good. And then that 1 is the difference between. I don't think I'm any clearer at answering or figuring this puzzle out. That I do have. There is like some understanding in my brain that is at least having the logic make sense, but it's just sort of in terms of how the puzzle goes together. $32, $33, $34, $35. Maybe we could work on that next. So we've got 35 total.
You've got to have that divided by 3. But in a way, there is a total of 12 sort of remaining in a way. So, yeah, okay. If we do 35 minus 12, 35 minus 12, that's 23. And if we do 23, 23 divided by 3, that gives us 7.6 recurring. So, I want to say everything has to be at least 7, maybe at least 8. So let's say our lowest number is 8. I'm running out of space to work with, but I feel like I want the rest of my notes. Right, let's get rid of it. So, 8. 8 is our lowest. No, let's go with 7 being our lowest first. 7 would have to be on the 5 and the 6, right? And then you'd have 7 plus 5 is 12. 7 plus 6 is 13. So let's figure this out. 7 plus 13 is 32. Does that mean I am one higher? Yeah. So if it was 8 instead, with 13, 14. 8 plus 13 plus 14 is 35. 32, 33, 34, 35. Yes. Okay. We have our numbers. Okay. Okay. I know what I'm doing now. I know what we're doing. Let's get rid of this. These are our numbers. We have a region of size 8. We have a region of size 13. We have a region of size 14. No, 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 no. 8. Yeah, we have 13 and 14 on either side of this one. And then we have 13 on the 5. 13 across here somewhere. And a 14 across the 6. With an 8. Could they be on the right hand side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. That's not necessarily helpful. But there's maybe some limits to what it can do here. Yeah, okay. So I think the fact that the 1 is at the top. I'm getting there. I am getting there. Sorry about that. I accidentally pressed it then. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this orange can't be the 8. So one of these two has to be the 8. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, no. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Whatever. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Whichever one the 8 is, doesn't really matter. Only ever going to be both of one side. Just because of the way it sort of wraps around. So it's either both here or here. I kind of want to say it's like just that. You know? And then you'd have something like because this has to be one side of the big number, so we'd have to be the other side. So you can sort of do that. That. Maybe that does work. And you'd have the 8 there. And then you just figure out the rest over here. Does that work? That works. I think. Let's give it a go. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wait, what? Have I done my maths wrong? What? 8 plus 13 plus 14 equals 35. 35. 8 plus. Oh, yeah, no, there we go. I'm just dumb. I did it though. I figured it out. And I feel like I'm still not entirely wrong with what I said before. In that it has a trick. You figure out the trick and that's it. Rather than it necessarily being so hard to solve. No, I don't. I'm just lying to myself. that was tricky. Yeah, okay, it's 20 past 5 for me now, so I think that is probably about time to leave it. There is a 5 there that's a lighter pillar, but not for today. We'll do this little adventure up here next week, and we will be dealing with Loopy. Whatever Loopy means. There cannot be a point where exactly 3 borders meet. That sounds too much for my little brain right now, so we'll be going Loopy next week. Loopy loopy loo. Friday, I am probably going to start the new series with doing Pinball Spire. So keep your eyes peeled for that. More importantly, because This one probably won't be on YouTube. I'm going to be having a little, not so much an art stream. Basically, I have some like assets I want to make for the stream. I want to make like little overlay bits. So I was thinking I was just going to have a little stream, probably on Wednesday, probably a bit earlier as well, where I just kind of chill, have a little doodle, and you know, if you've got to be productive yourselves, then maybe it's time to do a little bit of productivity. But just, yeah, a little chill time. But that's probably just going to be on Twitch. So keep an eye on the Discord. And I'll be announcing that probably on the day. I thought that would be nice. I have some ideas I want to fiddle with, so yeah. Anyway, see you on either Wednesday or Friday. Have a good week, and good evening, and all of that. Thanks for joining. Yes, thank you, Ken. I'm just trying to find my end of stream scene. Yeah, there we go. Right. Catch you later. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.